This is Dispatch, bringing you the best writing from CapX's unmissable daily email briefings, read by an automated voice. Don't miss our full podcast, The Capitalist, every Wednesday.
Ofcom is turning the UK into an international laughingstock. Written by legal academic Andrew Tettenborn. We know that the Online Safety Act is a disaster. The group it is billed as protecting, children and young people, is not only rebellious, it is precisely the class most adept at using VPNs and other devices to circumvent it. And this is even before you get to the unintended consequences. The more we try to regulate the semi-respectable internet sites out there, the more we push thrill-seeking young people to the darkest and most frightening corners of cyberspace, where they can suffer serious harm. Furthermore, the greater the pressure on the young to sign up to dodgy free VPNs, the greater the likelihood of their later suffering trolling and identity theft. So much for protecting young people. Meanwhile, adults, whose rights to view and read what they like are ostensibly unaffected, increasingly face exasperating demands to prove their age in order to watch not only pornography, which is possibly fair enough, but a great deal of other material too, including political stuff. And a number of wholly admirable sites like Wikipedia, caught arbitrarily in the headlights of a juggernaut that was never aimed anywhere near it, but now is near unstoppable, are seriously thinking of limiting their presence in the UK, and hence UK citizens' access to the information they provide. But what has gone less noticed in this respect is the harm done by the new law to Britain's reputation abroad. When people like J.D. Vance call out the UK's descent in 50 years from robust defender of free speech to obsessive would-be regulator of just about anything that moves in cyberspace, the progressive establishment may sneer and point to the Trump administration's own free speech record, which is by no means impressive. But the fact remains that Vance has a point, and we should take notice. Even worse, however, is the way the Act is causing us to interfere in the affairs of foreign countries in a way that would outrage us if the boot were on the other foot. Imagine that a London-based website concerned with international affairs, blessed with a large African following, gets a formal letter from a civil servant in, say, Burkina Faso. This letter states that because people read the site in Burkina Faso, it is ordered, on pain of massive penalties, to moderate its tone on African affairs and file formal documentation with the Ministry of Communications in Ouagadougou, demonstrating its commitment to obey Burkina Faso law. You'd see this as a comic opera effort to muscle in on matters that were none of that country's business. If the letter came from Beijing and referred to Chinese law, you'd add that it looked like serious censorship. Yet that is precisely what we are now doing to sites abroad. This year, Ofcom, which administers the Online Safety Act, wrote formally to American online forums, Gab, Kiwi Farms and 4chan, demanding that they agree to obey UK law and file vast amounts of compliance paperwork with Ofcom to prove it. Since none of these sites have any presence or assets in the UK, they gently reminded Ofcom of the existence of the First Amendment, and less gently told it to go away. We don't know what happened to Gab or Kiwi Farms, but Ofcom has now, apparently with a straight face, fined 4chan £20,000 and threatened further daily fines until it complies. Understandably, 4chan is unamused. It has said that it won't, and that there's nothing Ofcom can do. And of course it is right, as its Connecticut lawyers said with nice understatement in their response to Ofcom. American businesses do not surrender their First Amendment rights because a foreign bureaucrat sends them an email. Comic opera this may be, and 4chan will doubtless carry on as it always has. But the harm has been done. For one thing, letters like this make Britain look simply ridiculous. But more to the point, they portray the UK in a more sinister light. As a result of episodes like this, the country where we live comes across as a would-be bully that thinks nothing of ordering foreigners around in their own country. It also appears as a country that wishes to place all sorts of restrictions on internet speech, and at times to set up a kind of great British firewall. It will not have been lost on US websites that in the last resort it has the power to force British ISPs to block foreign sites that do not do as it says. Didn't someone in government once say that Britain wants to be well placed to benefit from the information economy? If it does, it certainly seems to be going about it in a very strange way.
You've been listening to a dispatch from CapX, the unmissable daily briefing on politics, economics, and new ideas. For more writing like this, go to capx.co, that's capx.co. And don't miss the next edition of our podcast, The Capitalist, this Wednesday.